Hi, my name is Paul Slatkis. Welcome to our series for the earth and water that we've created. We did a major event on April 22nd, 2023, here in New York in Times Square, and we broadcasted it to the world through Unify and through Good News broadcast on YouTube. And we welcome you. So let me just go back a little bit. So, because we're up to show three now. And show one started with Pastor Gil Monrose, the head of the faith base for the Adams administration here in New York. And we had Scott Harrison, who has the Charity Water. We had Deloitte with Donna Shatkusky-Zilch speak about their sustainable outreach. Rick Rosenzweig talked about four companies with his oversight, DSM, Energy, Kilos, Powertron, Global, Mission 6, Integrated Nanomagnetics. And then we did a show, Earthquakes, about our environment, about the sun and the moon and all kinds of good things there. Michael Fitzpatrick, Sir Michael, with on cello, and then Ringo Starr started the show, asking for a moment of silence, which we will do coming on September 21st as well, International Day of Peace. Dr. Jane Goodall, one of the queens of our environment. Show two, I'm saying this so you can go back, take a look. Carmen Olivier, Stephen Joseph, a comedian, Chip Shelton, Peacetime, Chuck Armstrong, Sr. does the Wonderama show, Leonardo DiCaprio, Peace Messenger, Reeve Harrison and Mackenzie Brooks, 23 million on TikTok, superstars Chucky Armstrong, A.Y. Young, Sustainable Development representative of the UN. He was there with his battery tour. Todd Cederholm made a margarita. Commissioner Rohit Agrawala, the Chief Climate Officer of the City of New York. Tammy Scarlett. There's a lot of good people here. From Unify, Michelle Bongiovanni. From Heal Our World, Eric Leduc, the Guardians Radiant Forest, Dr. Kaluma, and Dr. Joseph Uganda from Uganda, surgeons. All right, no water, no surgery, and Mount Sinai have a relationship together. All right, so we're up to show three now. Okay, so let's show just a little bit of some of the people that are going to be on here. We have Dr. Gwen Corvin, who's a ENT specialist, especially for many of the superstars. Pete Seeger, who's one of our founders of World Water and Clearwater, and Sharon Benson sings the song Water Not Weapons. Reed Stowe and Sonia Amanat and their son Darshan, who went around the world 1,152 days. They broke the world record. That's no doubt about that. And so that was a big deal. We've been covering them for years. You can go back to our Good News broadcast and look up Reed Stowe. That's been historic. Ken Gale from BAI Radio, Gloria Waslin with their Peace Parrots today, Sandra Vasquez, Robert Ferenza, Hug of Planets, our good buddy. We have the Montauk Film Festival with a movie called The Dream, and SOFO, South Fork Natural History Museum and Nature Center. And then we have something on dogs, because dogs are people too. And we're dogs, so whatever, either way you want to look at it, we're all in this together, the animal kingdom and the plant kingdom. And there was a opportunity for us to go interview some people for an organization called Dog Rocks. So Stacy Silverstein and Jackie O'Sullivan overseeing that, and Lara Trump and Georgiana Bloomberg, who are animal activists, spoke with us. Okay, so that's show three. Here we go.
All right, now we're going to bring up another doctor. How about a big hand for Uganda coming here through Mount Sinai and sharing their wisdom and sharing what they're doing, their livelihood, helping save the lives of people. All right, here's another doctor, Dr. Gwen Corvin, who's also saving people's lives, and she also has a important people in the sense of celebrity status, who I was allowed to say Celine Dion, Hugh Jackman, Ariana Grande. And so, but what I can't say, though, is, oh, Tolar now Joe, what's it say?
It is otolaryngology, or if you were in Europe, it would be otorhinolaryngology. But even yeah, it's right into the mic. Okay, it's otolaryngology or otorhinolaryngology, depending on what part of the world. And it's a fancy name for an ear, nose, and throat doctor, actually. So, but don't feel bad. My father couldn't pronounce it either, right?
I'm going to spell it, okay? Because it's such an I love these words. These are O. Tell me if this is right. OTOLARYNGOLOGIST.
Otolaryngologist, which is what I am.
So what's ear, throat, and is that what it is?
Yes, ear, nose, and throat.
So us regular people, know it as ENT.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
This is someone who really knows what she's doing in this area. ENT.
Yep.
Breathing, bad air, you're not going to. Well, you tell us. What happens if you can't breathe?
What happens if you can't breathe and you cut off your oxygen, you're not going to be able to survive. I mean, it really depends on the level of it. If you can't breathe through your nose, you're going to be nasal. You're not going to be filtering out the air that's around us. If you can't breathe through your throat, you're going to have a problem getting enough oxygen and really going on and living. And we have to really preserve our environment so that we're not breathing in bad things all of the time, you know, because it's a huge problem for us.
Let me ask you a question, if you don't mind, okay?
No.
It's always good to learn. Education is the wealth of potential for longer life, okay? And I know we just have a few moments here right now. So, is it good to clean your ears?
It's good to have your ears cleaned. It's not good to clean your own ears. We were just discussing it because you're not, you know, I don't know how many people's mothers told them not to put anything smaller than their elbow in their ear. So your ears should be cleaned out, but by a professional.
What do you mean a professional? A professional, you have some kind of a procedure. I mean, I'm a Q-tip guy. So is that it's bad because of why?
You're pushing all the wax further in, and you can injure
You're
your
pushing the
ear.
wax in further.
Yeah, absolutely.
As a result of that.
And it makes our job harder. Right?
Makes your job harder. And you might eventually need ear, because a lot of people are wearing ear things now, right?
Yes,
Better
yeah,
hearing?
a lot of people are wearing hearing aids. A lot of people are constantly walking around with ear pods in, and that can actually, putting that very loud music into your ear can create a lot of problems. You could get a hearing loss, you can get ringing in the ear or tinnitus, you can get some dizziness. So
All right, so do you guys hear that? Do you hear that? It's be concerned about headsets, and that's like Bluetooth also. Too loud in your ears. Not a healthy situation. Okay, I am hearing. Just the nose. Okay, nosy. All right, the nose. All right, breathing. So if this air is polluted means it's not clean. I heard, isn't there something called asthma, and people get asthma if they don't live in a clean air area. Can that produce problems?
yes, because all of the irritants in the air can get down in the lungs and cause the lungs to get inflamed, and that's one of the significant causes of asthma. Being around in the environment, being around smoke, you can end up with asthma, you can end up with COPD, which is chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. So breathing all that stuff is very bad for us. So.
Okay, well, you got a doctor's visit right here in Times Square. Doctor, thank you very much. Okay, I want to ask one more question. Thank you, Jason. Okay. That's beautiful. Stiff? Is it stiff personal syndrome? What Celine Dion has. Everybody, listen. Everybody loves Celine, right? We all love Celine. Her prayer, her singing has touched our hearts for so long. And unfortunately, she's been open enough to talk about this concerning condition, stiff personal syndrome. What is stiff personal syndrome?
It's cross between a neurological disease and something in your head where you literally lose your ability to function normally. Like it can affect different parts of the body. It can affect the muscles and cause spasm. It can cause all kinds of digestive problems and everything. And in a case of someone who sings, if they're not able to control their muscles, even if everything looks perfect, they're not going to be able to do what they need to do. So it's a huge problem. And we really, until Celine came out and said that she had that, which this diagnosis was made a couple of years ago, nobody had ever heard of it before. And I think also the song that we just heard that Gary wrote was amazing, and I think we really need to bring more attention to this problem, because I think that a lot of people aren't aware of it, and there may be more people around that have never been diagnosed. So getting more money, more support to do research is such an important area for this. Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you. How do people reach you?
Right here in the city, on the Upper East Side. It's Dr. Gwen Korovin, Korovin. My phone number, 212-879-6630 is my office number.
Thank you.
Native New Yorker, been here
Native New
forever.
Yorker.
Yeah.
All right. I don't think anybody here is a native New Yorker. I've decided.
I take care of people from all places.
You take
too.
care of people.
Yeah.
I think people probably. I mean, you're very well known, so I'm sure, just like Dr. Zangen's very well known here in Mount Sinai Hospital. People fly to New York for medical care, right? Big time.
Yes. I get a lot of people from out of town, and because I take care of a lot of singers and actors, you end up seeing a lot of people that are on tour, that type of thing. But honestly, I take care of everybody. I have famous patients. I have not famous. We're all people of this earth, and we all need to be taken care of properly. So
we love that thought. All right, good person. Thank you so much. All right, well, this is all good, and I have my button with me. All right, here's my do I have my button? I hope I have my button. This button, yeah, no. Well, I was looking for my button called Water Not Weapons. Okay, we're talking about water now, once again. And our buddy, Pete Seeger, who helped create the clear water, and our buddy Phil Sowers, who helped create World Water Day, Pete coined a statement called Water Not Weapons. And we have lots of songs about water, not weapons. And Pete was one of our leaders. He said when people sit in an event, we should all sit in a round gathering so we can all be close to each other, just like Mother Earth is round. So we're going to go now. We've been doing, as I mentioned, for many years in the Central Park, the International Day of Peace, through Reverend Susanna Basterica, James Cannings, and hundreds of people volunteering for the International Day of Peace. So I'd like to just take a moment so you can hear from Pete Seeger, and you can hear from Sharon Benson, who's going to sing when she is up at the band shell, Water Not Weapons. So let's go to the video now.
We can learn how to communicate with people we think we disagree with. I honestly believe that if the world is saved, it's going to be saved by tens of millions of little things.
Hello, this is Donna Stein with New York City Friends of Clearwater, founded by Pete Seeger, the legendary folk singer and also environmentalist. Over 40 years ago, he realized this river was not the river he played in when he was a child and not the river he wants his grandchildren and the children of the earth to play in. So he he built the Clearwater Ship, which brings school groups all year round on the water. New York City Friends of Clearwater is living that legacy for Pete now, saving the environment for the children.
I believe in getting involved in your home community, whether it's a neighborhood in a big city or a small town like this.
All right, you guys, this is something that was just written. This is dedicated to the Day of Peace and to know that we're all connected by water. And if we focus on cleaning up the water on this planet, then we won't have to be fighting anymore. So it's called Water Not Weapons. Here we go, guys. Let's talk water, not weapons, clean water, not weapons. Water, oh, water, not weapons. Do you know what it's like not to have clean water? Way too many people do. Maybe you think there's an endless supply. Well, I got news for you. Well, people getting sick drinking water that's brown, or fish in the sea floating upside down, or birds covered with oil laying on the ground. Oh, and you're gonna wake up and sing. We gotta talk water, not a weapon. Clean water, not a weapon.
Sharon Benson from California, Los Angeles area, comes in every year for our Peace Day activities. And she created Water Not Weapons. As I said, Pete Seeger's concept was water not weapons. Just think, if we don't need any weapons, maybe we could figure out, with all that money, you know how much money we spend on weapons, we could take that money, our government money, and fix the water concerns of the world. So somebody in Africa or anywhere else in this world, in America, can have a fresh glass of water. It's your human right to have water and not to die from not having water. So today's a serious day. We're trying to have an uplifting reality and conversation, but we don't need weapons. We just need love. Who's into love and not weapons? Anybody into love and not weapons?
Yay!
Who likes love and not weapons?
Love.
Okay? You don't have to be a hippie. You just have to realize it's important not to fight. And if you know what President Dwight Eisenhower said, there's nobody that knows more about peace than a service person. Somebody in the Army and the Navy. They know what peace is. They don't want to go to war. They don't want to even be in the service. Because the service, to help, blah, blah, it's all good stuff. But nobody needs to fight anybody. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of life. And I have to say it. Okay? I'm going to say it right here, right now. Because we spend too much time and energy. There's one world, people from every country in the world are our brothers and our sisters. And if there's some problem somewhere on Mother Earth, there's big issues of where there's war right now. I'll say it, Russia, Ukraine, it's not a good scene. Sudan, not a good scene. Okay? We need the wisdom of Gandhi. Non-violent communications. You don't like me, I don't like you, you don't have to kill anybody. Okay? Same with anybody who's mentally ill and hurting somebody in the streets, in the schools, anywhere. If you have a problem, call me. I'll talk to you. Okay? Be happy to. There's millions of me that are out there trying to help from violent scenarios. My number is 212-647-1212. It's Reverend Paul Slatkus. You're welcome to call me anytime if you feel you want to hurt somebody. I'll find you somebody who could really help you, all right? And I'm serious about that. All right, now, let's get back to the show. But that's an important part of the show. My buddy over here, Reed Stowe, along with Sonia Amanat and his son, Darshan, this is the greatest sailor in our time, everybody. Reed Stowe went out to sea on a schooner Ann that he built some years ago. You know how many days? 1,152 days. Sonia got off because she got pregnant around 762 days. How many days?
Yeah, 306 days.
306 days in Australia. And so I've been connected with Reed, my buddy, for all these years because I love him and because Reed is the real thing. Reed, he's going to tell us about his schooner Ann. So once again, you're looking at this guy is like Noah's Ark. And if we don't take care of the water rising, everybody's going to get on Reed's boat because he's going to be the only one, or one of the few, that's going to know how to live. And I'd like to learn, how did you live for 1,152 days at sea without ever touching land? How did you live? What did you eat? What did you do? And what is your 1,000 days at sea.org?
Yeah, the longest sea voyage in history.
What's the website?
If you Google that, you get a big website and a lot of things.
Okay. Reed Stowe, my buddies. Share with us.
So I would go live on the sea and not on the land. So after a lifetime of sailing long voyages around the world, I knew that I was the one who could stay on the ocean without coming to land longer than any human. So I had my boat that I built and that I sailed around the world many times, doing longer and longer sea voyages. Finally, I realized that I could do the longest sea voyage in history. So if you Google the longest sea voyage in history, that's me. And I said, I can do it because I love the ocean and I love the water more than anyone, because my love for the sea gave me the ability to live on the sea for over 3 years without stopping, without resupply. And during that time, I spent 846 days without seeing another human. So that's from my love of the sea that I went to sea. My tuning into nature, my love for the earth. And so that's how I tie into Earth Day, because I spent the longest time away from the earth than any human ever has. It's satellite verified. I was on the sea for over 3 years. I carried everything with me that I needed. I stocked up and I ate natural, organic health food. And the key to my diet, living on the sea over 3 years, was sprouts. I grew sprouts to have fresh salads every day and eat the food that I brought with me.
Reed, I'm going to stop you for 1 second, only because, did you hear what Reed, 1,152 days, one of his staples of living at sea were sprouts. Sprouts. Who eats sprouts? Anybody eat sprouts? They grow as you eat them. How do you make a sprout?
Most seeds and beans will sprout. And when that bean or seed sprouts, according to the books, it gives you 300% more nutrition. What I know is that from all the seeds and sprouts, seeds and beans that I brought with me, they all kept sprouting and giving me living green things to eat while I was on the sea. It turned out that mung beans were the best, and they kept sprouting for over 3 years. I was sprouting my mung beans and eating great big green salads along with my rice and beans and pasta and normal food that most people eat. I supplemented it with some fish that I caught out there, tuna and mahi-mahi. But I went out to sea and I lived on the sea for the love of it. And it was my power of love that kept me out there, kept me healthy and strong, and kept me going. And so the message I have is, when you love the environment, you'll tune into the environment, and you'll become wiser from that. And if people can get wiser, they'll save the environment in every way. That's my message for Earth Day.
Reed Stowe, thank you, my buddy. Thank you very much. Let's hear it for Reed. This is the greatest sailor. You know, sailors in the Navy, you know how long, the longest they go out for? 3 months. He went out for 3 years at sea. Come on. That's serious stuff, all right? Thank you, Reed. You know, I want to also, though, mention one thing, Reed, while you're here. It's also, has anybody ever seen a globe that shows what's under this water? What do they call that? What kind of globe is that, Rob? A geologic globe? I know it's a globe. It's Mother Earth. No, they have a name of that type of globe. So you see where the water is? Guess what's under the water? Land. Some of the land came up, and some of the land stayed up, and some of the land stayed down. Right? If you go swimming way, way, way down, what do you find? Read. More water, but you find land? You find land. So everything is land. The oceans are land and water. Okay? So when you look at the oceans, they're not only water, they're land and water. Okay, Reed, thank you very much. We're going to bring up somebody from the WBAI Ecologic. Going to learn a little more. This, Ken Gale knows his stuff. This I can assure you. All right? Ken is an environmentalist. He's part of the Clearwater New York Friends, of which I've been part of for years. And Ken's going to give us a little background, environmentally speaking. Ken Gale.
Clean air and water are healthy air and water. It's as simple as that. When water gets polluted, it's not healthy anymore. That means we're not healthy anymore. When air gets polluted, it's not healthy anymore. We're not healthy anymore. Every day is Earth Day. This whole thing about one day a year is full of it. Every day is Earth Day. The mainstream media has turned Earth Day not from protecting air, not from protecting water, not from protecting wildlife from being extinct. They've turned it into little kids picking up litter. That's what you hear on mainstream media every year now. That's not what Earth Day is about. It's protecting our future. It's protecting the future of every person here and the people who aren't even born yet. People tend to, if they're politically active, and I know a lot of you are, they tend to like cubbyhole things. I do an environmental radio show on WBAI FM, 99.5 FM, WBAI.org. And on that show, I connect environmental issues with other issues. Because it's not cubbyholed. Everything is connected. We're going to war in order to get the oil from somebody else's country. If we did not need the oil, we wouldn't have to go to war. There's a very good connection between the peace movement and the environmental movement. We don't need the oil. We don't have to go to war for it. Now, how do we not need the war? Buildings waste 90% of the energy that they take in. 90% of almost every building wastes the energy. It wastes the electricity. It wastes the heat. It wastes the air conditioning. Because, but people tell me, but saving energy is not sexy. It's like saving money is sexy. If you save energy, if you put insulation on your windows so that you don't have the air conditioning go out in the summer or the heat go out in the winter, you're saving money. You can use it for something else. All the ways of using less energy, it's just efficiency. That's all, just be efficient. Don't use light bulbs that waste energy, because most light bulbs, the way they were made originally, they actually are things that make heat. And light is a byproduct. So most of it is heat. Most factories, most motors, what they're making is heat. And the byproduct is electricity or running something. It's all different things that we use motors for, but mostly what they make is heat, and they have to be cooled. That's why cars have radiators, because there's so much excess heat. We didn't make that much heat. If things were more efficient, then it wouldn't need radiators. You can deal with a lot smaller ones. Solar energy can be put on any building that has sunlight, and you'll get more energy from the sun than you get from fossil fuels. But that energy is free, so you're not going to see a whole lot about it on the mainstream media, because they get sponsorship from people who make money off of not getting free energy. So why should they talk about it? When you see solar energy stuff on mainstream television, you'll see these huge arrays because they want to centralize it. They don't want to talk about rooftops. They don't want to talk about private ownership because they want to keep everything centralized because of their sponsors. There are more jobs in renewable energy and putting up solar panels than there are in fossil fuels or nuclear power. You get more jobs per dollar spent, more jobs per watt made, unit of energy made. There are feed-in tariff laws throughout the country. Feed-in tariff is when you have solar panels on your roof, your electric meter runs backwards. Now that's when you own the panels. If you're leasing the panels, somebody else is getting most of that money. But it doesn't cost you anything to have the solar panels. So do what you need to do. So there's a connection with the labor movement. More jobs with renewable energy than there is with fossil fuel. So the very energy that poisons our air, poisons our water, and kills our wildlife is giving us fewer jobs than the alternatives to that. It sometimes drives me crazy because it's so obvious. There's a nuclear plant just north of New York City called Indian Point. And it's about 24 miles north of the border of the Bronx. And it's been closed down. It's not making poisonous energy anymore. Every day it was putting out radiation in the air and in the water. But there's a lot of radioactive waste stored there. Holtec bought that plant from Entergy, who bought it from Con Edison, and Con Edison decided, let's put a nuclear plant on top of an earthquake fault. Despite the fact that Lamont Doherty Geologic Lab said, don't, there's an earthquake fault where you want to put it. They go, no, we're not going to listen to you. Holtec wants to put radioactive water into the Hudson River. They want to put 1 million gallons of radioactive water into the Hudson River. They had announced, because the town of Cortland, which is just south of Peekskill in Westchester County, they were going to have a rally on the water with kayaks in the water and people on the land. So Holtec said, well, we're going to release that water the day before your rally. They were trying to keep people out of the water. So they understand that people don't want this. There are 2 bills in the New York State legislature to stop this. All right, one in the state Senate, one in the state assembly. And they have sponsors from both the Republican and the Democratic Party. So to say that clean air and clean water are partisan issues, right, that may have been true under Reagan, that may have been true under Bush, it ain't true anymore. Everybody wants clean water. Everybody wants clean air. It's no longer a partisan issue. Republicans and Democrats have both sponsored a bill to stop the dumping of radioactive wastewater into the Hudson River. There's a rally in Cortland on May 6th, and I'm really looking forward to that rally because the energy, when you come to a rally like that, the energy you get is so fantastic that you leave there feeling good about the future. And that's what's good about events like this one. You get a feeling that there are people who care about the future. And it's very important because here we are in Times Square and we're surrounded by people selling stuff. And you think that the people who are here only care about the stuff that people are selling or the stuff that they're buying. People do care about things beyond that. Again, my name is Ken Gale. My radio show is Ecologic. I'm on 6 in the morning on Saturdays. So I was up early this morning. And we interview scientists, we interview activists, we interview lawyers, we interview a lot of people who are experts in one aspect of the environment or another. The website is www.ecoradio.org, ECORADIO.org. There are links to dozens and dozens radio shows on all different environmental topics. There's a lot you can learn. There's a lot you can use. If you're a college student, there's a lot of information that you can get from those shows. I give away my contacts on every show, so you can join right in.
Okay, Ken Gale. Hi, big honor to have you here. This man knows his stuff. He's been dealing with echo conditions for a long time. Thank you very much. All right, I just want to remind everybody, we've been broadcasting this also on
Storby.
an app, and we're going to put a code. So I don't know if it'll be here or just on the TV show. A reminder, this is a television show live on Unify on Facebook, on Good News Broadcast on YouTube. So this is going out to millions of people, all ever since 7 o'clock in the morning. And we have a Mount Sinai ambulance coming here. I'm going to reiterate, Mount Sinai saved my life, okay? And I'm very appreciative when my colon broke that Mount Sinai was here. And we talked earlier with doctors from Uganda, and my surgeon was here also from Mount Sinai, about the importance of water and in life. You cannot have a hospital without clean water. So we're talking about life and death issues here today.
Storby.
It's an app. They have a 360-degree immersive technology, immersive reality experience, AMJ they call it. Art Malone Jr., our buddy, immersive reality experience. You'll be virtually in this event if you download that app, and you can see this from many different angles. It's a great thing for television, all right? You can be here, you put yourself in it, no matter where you are physically, with the AMJ, Augmented Virtual Technology. Let me also remind you, we started off with very important corporate considerations from companies that are in the sustainability area. Deloitte, one of the largest audit and financial companies in the world, with many clients. They talked about their outreach, their green outreach that they've been doing for many years. And we like to strengthen it. They showed a beautiful video. So if you didn't see this, you can go back and watch the show. Then we had our good buddy here, DSM Energy. He talked about other companies, Kilos Batteries, Powertron Global, Mission 6, Integrated Nano Magnetics, and his own company, DSM. This has been an important, and we did earthquakes. We had some comedy from Stephen Joseph, Carmen Olivia, who's still here. You're going to be able to meet this young lady. You can meet her right now if she's open for that. Get her autograph now. It'll be tougher later. I'll tell you that right now. She's only 15, all right? And she could sing. She could sing like Madonna up here. She's got what it takes. So it's very important to realize that. I see Parrots for Peace, I think, are having a hard time getting down here. We would have had these gorgeous... here's the Parrots for Peace. Beautiful. Well, get them on the stage and say something. All right. Look at what on cue. She sent me a message, but I didn't have a chance to get to that message. Oh, boy. I'll tell you why Parrots for Peace are important. Gloria Waslin. Gloria has dedicated her life to her parrots and to peace. And she does major outreach everywhere, in schools, at the United Nations, all over the world, educating us about parrots. In fact, today, or yesterday it was, anybody read the New York Times? I used to be here. We used to have our TV studio, Times Square Studios, right down the street on 42nd Street. I did Woodstock here, the 20th anniversary. So we love this place. I put that Samsung board up there, and I filmed it from a concert in the Marriott with Frank Sinatra. Some people know that name. And Benny Goodman, Salute. So we love this place. Richie Havens came here, and he did his thing. And we did Woodstock Forever, Peace, Love, and Hope. All right, Gloria once again. This she's gonna come over here. All right, she's coming here with my buddy Hug a Planet, Robert Ferenza. Ay ay ay. Ah, my God. All right, well, say something. Oh my God. All right, calm down. So I was gonna say that in the New York Times yesterday, they were training parrots. Okay, they're yesterday at the New York Times article. They're training parents. What do you want me to do? Turn sideways? There you go. Oigevalt in Yiddish means oigevalt. Means oh my God. All right. They're training parrots. They're training AI. Listen, the fact of the matter is we're not going to need people. We're going to just we're going to have images of who we might have been, when we were, and could have been. But the point of the matter is this: they're training parrots how to use AI, training parrots how to use computers, because that parrot on my shoulder is much smarter than I, and Gloria can prove it, because she knows this parrot. I have which parrot is this? Mr. Baby. Is this the one I have his? I have his. What do they call that? His feather. Yeah, you have his feather. I have. And what do they call that feather? They call it the feather. A feather. That's why us people are so smart. We know what to call things and say things. I have his tail feather. You told me that tail feather was very important. I've cherished that tail feather. I sleep with that tail feather. You know, I got to sleep with. So did Pete Seeger. Okay. Well, what the heck? All right. This is unplanned. I'm not used to this. So you take over here, because I'm not a. Hello, honey. This girl, Donna Sephora, makes beautiful angels.
Just stay down there.
Yes, I do.
Oh.
You're the model, honey.
Oh. Scott, you there.
All right.
Claw or on my shoulder?
This is Mr. Baby, Parrots for Peace, and we are going to have a peace meditation with our good friends, okay? Ready? Om Shante Shante Shante. May there be peace with Mother Earth and with all people, animals, and nature. Om. Yay. Yay. He does not have So Mr. Baby is 22 years old. He's the father of 3 beautiful children. He and his wife, Merlin, conceived their first baby on Pete Seeger's shoulders. And that baby is now 11 years old, named Peacenik. Their second baby was conceived on Pete's arm. And that baby was named by Pete Ara, which is hello in parrot. And that way everybody can learn an interspecies language. Hello in parrot. Like namaste, aloha, shalom, salam, ara. And then their third baby is named Hope after a lyric in one of Pete's songs that he co-wrote after the BP oil spill. When drill baby drill turns to spill baby spill, God's counting on me, God's counting on you, hoping we all get through. And one of the lyrics is, when you work with younger folk, you can never give up hope. God's counting on me. God's counting on you. Hoping we all pull through. Hoping we all pull through. Hoping we all pull through, me and you. And so hope is named for that. And posthumously, I changed the lyric to, when you sing with younger folk, you must inspire hope. And today is Earth Day, and the Parrots for Peace family consider every single day Earth Day. We are all part of one indivisible collective consciousness, creative consciousness. We come from one source, and we co-create. So with the power of your positive thinking and your positive actions, we can make a beautiful world according to our intentions. And I'd like to introduce a friend of mine, Sandra Vasquez, who is a conservation photographer. And she has traveled all over the world bringing awareness to beautiful wild animals so that we can appreciate the nature and the wild places that not many of us get a chance to explore, but it can enhance our appreciation. Do you want to say a word or two, Sandra?
Hi. I travel around the world taking photographs of animals that are endangered to bring to our consciousness the need to conserve all life that shares our life on this planet. We must conserve and protect because animals in the wild are in danger, and in wildness is the preservation of the planet. Thank you.
So the Parrots for Peace wish everybody a peaceful planet. We love Paul. We love the Hug a Planets. And you also have Hug a Planets for Hug a Moon and Hug a everything.
Hug everything.
I have a moon and we have a Mars. Yes, there's Hugger planets.
Robert, tell us something about Hug a Planets.
And the Parrots have a lot of Hug a Planets that they've collected over the years. And we love you.
Thank you.
Gloria, thank you so much for coming down from upstate, way upstate,
Upstate in Woodstock.
Woodstock,
Way upstate.
New York. Anybody's ever been in Woodstock, New York? It's a great town. It's a beautiful town. I have a from the Rainbow Man. I have a drawing, and it's a mountain, and on top of the mountain's a rainbow, and and on top of the rainbow it says when you get to the top of the mountain. When you get to the top of the mountain, keep climbing, okay? Let's keep going forwards. Let's help Mother Earth. Let's repair it because it needs to be repaired at a moment like this. It's a serious time, okay? Talk about Hug a Planet. Robert, could you say something about Hug a Planets, please? Okay.
Thank you, Paul. I can say something about Hugger planets. First thing is this Hugger planet was born here in the city of New York. Hi. And for almost a decade or two was made on Mulberry Street. It's now in Vermont, and they're up on the space station. Every president since Jimmy Carter has gotten one. Many UN diplomats have them. The space station has one since 2015, going around the world 15 times a day. All that being said, it's really for children. A child as young as 2 can start learning place. To see a youngster holding the globe and walking with it almost as big as them empowers them. New York City has these in their school systems thanks to the Morningside Center. If you're from New York and you're familiar with it or not familiar with it, they're a nonprofit that have been around for close to 30 years, and they've put many Hug a Planets in the New York City classrooms. So today on Earth Day, I believe that humanity that existed, I could see that if we want peace, we're going to have peace, and give the planet a hug for everyone who's living on it. Love you all. And one more thing, teach your kids to play music, and if you like the weather, go skiing. Thank you, Paul.
Correct. Thank you. Thank you, Robert, my good buddy, for so many years. How do you get a Hug a Planet? Where can you buy a Hug a Planet?
Get it on Amazon?
Well,
You can find it on Amazon, or you could go to Peace Toys or hugaplanet.com.
The Hug a Planet. What is it? Did you just mention it? Because I might not have been. I might have been preoccupied. There's something about a Hug a Planet is in outer space. What's the deal there?
NASA brought my Hug a Planet, Moon, and Mars up to the space station in 2015 for the Teaching for Space classroom. And they used that somewhat extensively. Interesting, though, that 2 astronauts that were up there look a little bit like me and my sister, and everyone thought I was up there, and how did I pull that off? But I didn't go. So it's 70, 80,000 orbits around the planet since it's been up there. So when you hug it, you're sending your hugs up into space.
Sounds good to me. Thank you, Robert. Okay.
Thank you, Paul.
I love you dearly. Okay. So now we're gonna go to Montauk. Who's been in Montauk? All right, we love Montauk. Okay, and one of the interesting concepts that they're doing now out in Montauk is a film festival for the environment. Okay, we're very involved with Montauk. Montauk Sun. I've written for it for 15 years. I marry some people out there. We love Montauk. Do you know Montauk, the gentleman who built, here's an interesting fact. Carl Fisher, when Carl Fisher, did anybody ever hear Miami Beach? How about that? Anybody know about Miami Beach? And I think they call that state Florida. Okay, David Hernandez? Where's David? Is he here somewhere? Oh, okay, good. All right, Florida, Miami Beach. Does anybody know how Miami Beach, the actual beach, was created? Okay. Miami Beach was created by Carl Fisher. Carl Fisher created a form of lights for cars, okay? He did very well. He created the Indianapolis 500. Okay. Anybody ever hear of the Indianapolis 500? Okay? Carl Fisher made that also. All right. When Carl Fisher was in Miami, this is the way this is why we're going to get a solution to the water, because people think out of the box. So somebody that you might think is a little cuckoo is not so cuckoo, okay? In fact, they used to call it a Rube Goldberg, and they used to have something in the Smithsonian Institute for people that, when somebody made a wheel, somebody said, "What the heck are you doing? You made what is this thing? It's going to move one thing to somewhere else?" There's always, you got to inspire people, okay? Brainstorm. Think of different ways to fix the environment. That's what it's all about. Carl Fisher, back to him, okay? Carl Fisher because he was a creator, he was an innovator, he took fans, big fans, into the ocean at Miami Beach, Sunny Isles, over that area where Miami Beach is, and he blew the sand onto the beach. And that's how Miami Beach was created, by Carl Fisher blowing from big fans onto the beach. When he finished Miami Beach, he said, "I want to make Miami Beach in the Northeast." And since we're here in the Northeast and we have this Long Island, okay, the island that juts into the ocean, okay, it's a concerning island, actually, hurricane-wise, because it could get banged easily. And if it gets banged, probably the water that's going to come is coming from the Canary Islands. Do you know where the Canary Islands is? Next to Africa, okay? It's a Spanish-owned area. On the other hand, because I am the way I am, I'm a John Lennonist, nobody owns anything. Nobody owns any land. That's all a big fake, if you ask me, all right? Everybody owns everything, okay? Mother Earth is all of ours, so let's all take care of it. Borders are segregation. Got to throw it in. In any case, the fact is that he decided to come up to Montauk and make a beautiful place there, and built gurneys, built the Montauk Manor, of which, if you make a donation, to our pausetheworldforpeace.org, okay, you'll get the chance to go out to the Montauk Manor, all right? It's a gorgeous place. It was the nicest place. 140 units there, tennis. He built the first indoor tennis courts. He built the first squash court indoors. So this guy was unbelievable. But the Montauk Manor, we have a place in there, all right? I bought a long time ago. I bought it for $100,000. I inherited a little money. It was the smartest thing I ever did. But it wasn't smarter than buying a place on the Upper West Side. When I bought that for $70,000, when it was the bad street, West 80th Street, they were shooting people. But now New York We love New York. New York is such a peaceful city. The subway system, yes, we have every once in a while in our schools, in our streets, we have somebody that's mentally ill, obviously, and or robbed some poor grocery person trying to feed the local neighborhood, okay? There are people that in Yiddish we call them mashugana. They're ill. They're mentally ill. They're nothing but mentally ill. There's no reason to kill somebody. Somebody needs some money, find somebody that'll help them. Have them call me, 212-647-1212. And I'm not a rich guy, okay? But, well, there are people that will help people, all right? It's a beautiful world, and that's a good thing. The bottom line at this moment is that we're going to show a film from the Montauk Film Festival, and the Montauk Film Festival focuses on sustainability and environment. Let's go to the movie. This guy went to 50 states, and he went all around and surfed in 50 states. Let's go for it.
A novelty wave is something that's very rare and very unique to where it's not considered a wave by the general public. And it doesn't happen all the time, and it takes specific things to make it happen. And that's why it's so special.
Surfed 50 states.
Ben was always more
Every
like
state he surfed.
I would say the underdog. When he started surfing, he became a really good surfer very quickly.
It's just hard because you're out of the limelight of surfing. You know, the limelight is California, Hawaii, and the East Coast is just kind of like shed to the side.
For some reason, they decided to do this stupid stunt stuff. And along with that, they're getting older and they're drinking more. Was I concerned? Yeah, I was really concerned.
I broke my leg!
The fact that the doctor said he may never surf again, really, I think it scared him, because you're gonna lose the most important thing in your life.
It woke him up. It snapped something in his brain like, I gotta take control of my life. If I want my life to go in this direction, I can make it happen if I just do what needs to be done.
And there was a point when I started getting comments from people saying, you've surfed so many states, why don't you just surf them all? And of course it's just a joke. It was like a troll comment. And in my head, that was the most ingenious idea I had ever heard. Because I knew it was something that no one had ever done.
Drinking's a cop-out for a lot of things, and it makes life a lot easier for people because they just cop out and they just stay in that state. And he got out of it. He just took it and said, I'm going to change the world. I'm going to make a difference.
All right, okay. All right, I have another question. Did anybody ever surf all 50 states?
All right, April 22nd occurred in Times Square. However, there's some additional corporations and organizations that we want to add into this broadcast. They are totally fitting for the good that they're doing for Mother Earth. All right, so let's start off with the SOFO. That's the South Fork Natural History Museum in Bridgehampton. And then we're going to go to Rescue Dogs, Rock. and some good thoughts that are also shared by Lara Trump and Georgina Bloomberg. All right, here we go.
To the South Fork Natural History Museum. We have a nice topographic map of the area that was exaggerated to show that Long Island is not flat and where we actually get our water from. So there's the upper aquifers, which connect to the ponds, and then the lower aquifer is where we get our drinking water from. There's a lot to explore in the South Fork, and you need a lot of tools to be able to properly find everything. So this is our example of the Naturalist Closet, and different tools you could use to help discover nature on the South Fork or anywhere. And our life of a dying tree, the dying tree, dead tree, things to find, and the rotting log, the salamanders, and other things to find. Also have many other habitats like our ocean fish. Also by the ocean, we have our swale habitat, the red fox, and the northern harrier, competing for some of the same food. And there's two kinds of fox on Long Island, and a great place to go looking for tracks and other animal signs. In a forest, there are temporary ponds and our wood frog, and that would be a springtime pond in the summertime. We have scarlet tanagers visiting. They're a migratory bird, spending their summers in North America and their winters down in South America. In the fall, the woodland ponds, many of them dry up, and we have some wood ducks searching for nuts and acorns. This was a temporary pond, but there are also permanent ponds where bullfrogs, bullfrog in the puddle there, and muskrats will spend all year round, and our statue snapping turtle. That's it for basic freshwater. We also have salt water, there's salt marsh, and our diamondback terrapin, and we have some black-crowned nighthare and mink would also be found in our salt marshes. Salt marshes are a transition between land and the ocean, and out for the extreme ocean you have Montauk winter residents. This is our harbor seal, one of the winter residents. We are south for them. And there's many, many other animals that will come here in the wintertime. And a few little special exhibits are walking sticks, lots of plant leaves, and our box turtles, which, of course, they're both buried right there.
So where are we? We're at Rescue Dogs, Rock, New York, at Wendy Diamond. Hi, and your name is?
Stacy Silverstein.
Now, Stacy Silverstein, you are one of the founders of. I was studying your background,
Yes.
and so you're definitely appropriately overseeing what's going on here.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit what is going on here, please.
This is our annual fundraiser where we try to raise as much money as we possibly can to help as many dogs in need that we have. We've rescued over 10,000 dogs in 8 years, and we want to continue. We also are about to open a facility, a rescue and adoption center in Suffolk County, Long Island, and most of the money that we raised tonight is going to go to that.
Jackie O'Sullivan. I'm Stacy's partner in the rescue.
I thought so. So I just heard a lot of good stuff from Stacy. Did you found it as well together? Are you co-founders?
We did in 2015.
So tell me, day one, we're Good News broadcast, and I do Pause the World for Peace. What started this relationship and the outreach?
We were volunteers together at the New York City Animal Care and Control in Manhattan.
Okay.
That's how we met. And then we were in rescue 3 years before we started our own rescue.
Aha. And so the kinds of dogs that come in, are you find them, or how does it work?
We take mostly medical rescues, urgent cases that would otherwise be euthanized. So we get called. We have relationships with shelters all over the country.
It's a terrible word, but what does euthanized mean?
Putting a dog to sleep.
And they would do something as horrible as that because?
They don't have the funds to pay for the medical care. If the dog's suffering, they're not going to let him, suffer in the shelter. So they call it humanely euthanize.
And there's facilities. I've done shows on this. I don't know if there's any here in New York. I did them in the South. There's locations. Is there places here that do that?
That euthanize?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes?
All the time.
All the time? That's
Sadly,
not,
yes.
Yeah. Sorry to hear that. Thank you both.
Okay,
Have a good night. Look. Could you say something?
What's that?
What brings you here tonight? Look?
Oh, I'm here for Rescue Dogs Rock. I adopted a dog from them 7 years ago, and he totally transformed our whole family. The incredible things they do at Rescue Dogs Rock is so important to me. I love them, and I came all the way here from Florida just for them.
What's the name of your dog?
His name is Ben. I also have Charlie, and I have my mother-in-law's old dog, Tiger. So we have a full house, and I think my husband would love it if I came home with another one tonight.
Oh, is that right? Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Why do you think that a dog makes a home a home?
I mean, you'll never find more pure love than you get from an animal. They don't care what you look like. They don't care who you are, what your last name is. All they care about is that you love them, and it is the most incredible love that I think people have ever experienced. Obviously, I have 2 kids, and there's no love like that I get from my kids. Well, my dogs don't talk back, so that's a little different.
There you go. Thanks so much. Thank you. Georgina, could you say something? Where's your passion come from? Dogs, horses, animals, period.
Animal passion I was born with and appreciated animals as a little kid. But my passion for helping dogs came from my first experience walking into a kill shelter and wanting to understand how those animals ended up there and then wanting to help them.
Now, how about dogs and animals with dehydration and not, being when they become like a rescue dog, they've lived in possibly a terrible situation. What are your thoughts there? Because without water and without good care, they don't do well.
Well, yeah, all animals need water. So, I feel like without proper care in general, obviously a lot of dogs have behavioral issues and health issues, which damages their ability to get rescued. But a lot of rescues like this, for example, are really working on rehabilitation and care and water rails and slap with vet bills and behavioral lessons and increasing their chances of getting rescued and their chance of staying in that home.
Well, congratulations. You bring great credit to that. All right, now we learned about rescue dogs and a wonderful museum out there in Long Island. Let's go down to Marshall, Texas with our good buddy Robbie Schultz at the Bear Creek Smokehouse, where animals are very important and water is extraordinarily important. After Robbie, we're going to go to New Zealand, where PJ Anderson is going to talk about gin and vodka, also made from water, and how the purity of the water in New Zealand is so well respected. So we have 2 very, very interesting people here right now. Here we go.